so good morning and welcome to Nenie Climate Action Week 2024. And it's day 3. And for our session today, we're going to have Empowering Green Advocates, Students Driving Sustainability Action. So for today, we're going to be joined by Nenie Tamariska Patricia and Anne Ivy Cabanero. Both are currently based in New Zealand, and I'll let them introduce themselves later. But I just have to go through some facts about Nenie for those of you who are not yet aware. And but first, let me introduce myself. So I'm Vanessa Santos, and I'm the current Nenie Global Board student member. And so Nenie was founded in 2019, just before the pandemic, by Dr. Pitulia Nicola and Elsa Lamont. And the reason they founded Nenie was because they found that there was a gap in the international education sector for climate action. So Nenie is 100% volunteer run, and we are guided by a global board with representation from all over the world. And currently we have regional chapters in Europe, Americas, and Oceania. So by tomorrow, or the 4th day of our Climate Action Week, we're going to have regional meetings, and hopefully some of you can join those regional meetings. And hi, CJ. CJ is one of our founding members from Vancouver, Canada. So we have a chat function, so please feel free to let us know where you're joining us from. And Nenie is a climate action network for international educators, so please use this time to network with fellow international educators. And so we have global working groups. The global working groups are, for us to be able to further climate action. And the Climate Action Week is part of a working group that I'm a part of. And so again, our vision is for our imagined international education sector that reaches net zero emissions by 2030. And Nenie has, in its 5 years, we already have several awards, as you can see here. And our practitioners are, I believe, we're already at more than 800 plus active members from several institutions. And we have 65 plus Nenie Accord signatories, such as NAFSA, EAIE, and Universitas 21. So Nenie Accord, you can learn more about it on our website. And Nenie Accord is a list of actions that institutions, universities can commit to in order for us to further climate action in the international education sector. So here is the link for you to join Nenie in case you're not yet a Nenie member. Just go to nenie.org/join, and it's free to join, free to become a member. And with a Nenie membership, you'll be notified of events such as this one, such as the Climate Action Week, and you'll also have a chance to network and join working groups. So please visit nenie.org/join to find out how you can become a member. And before all else, again, as I mentioned earlier, we are 100% volunteer-run organization. So without the support of our sponsors, we wouldn't be able to have events such as the Climate Action Week. So thank you to the University of Tasmania. And I'll show you a video. Hopefully it will play.
How do I feel about the sustainability agenda? Passionate but impatient. As fast as we go, we've always got to be going faster. My colleagues are doing remarkable things, but every time we do a remarkable thing, I know we've got to do more because we have to solve this now.
The University of Tasmania has a very clear, holistic sustainability agenda. We have embedded it into our overall strategic plan for the university. It has its own framework for sustainability that encompasses 4 main areas of activity that are to be taken into account in all of our decision-making and activities.
The projects we choose always deliver additional environmental and social co-benefits. For example, biodiversity protection, or the creation of jobs for local communities.
All right, so thank you, University of Tasmania. And we also have another sponsor. Thank you to Alethea Global Cooperative. So Alethea Global is a worker cooperative and sustainability training consultancy built by members with relevant international education experience and knowledge to support the required transformation for a more equitable, climate conscious, and sustainable sector. So these are some words from CJ, who is here in our meeting today. And thank you, Alethea Global, for supporting Climate Action Week. So again, we are a grassroots and volunteer-led and run organization. So for those of you or your organizations who can support our ongoing work, please visit this website. So now I'll hand the session over to our speakers, Nenie and Anne.
Hello. Hi. Good morning, everyone, and good evening as well, because I know we're all over the planet. My name is Anne, and welcome to the third day of Climate Action Week. I hope that you guys are doing well today. And if you've joined the last 2 days, I hope you've enjoyed the sessions as well. So today, Nenie, my co-facilitator, say hi, Nenie.
Hello everyone, I'm Nenie.
We will be presenting our simple ways that bring considerable impact on building community resilience to climate change, and also our way of inspiring grid advocates out there to do the same. But before that, before we go into a little bit of on a serious note, we'll be playing a little bit of a game. This is just going to be a quick game, probably 10 minutes tops, just to, energize everyone. Not sure actually if you guys are familiar with Kahoot game. Is anyone familiar with Kahoot game? If you guys are, then Nenie will be sharing her screen to show the code that you guys can scan or join online using your computer. But I think it would be good if you using your join using your phone, so we can start playing. This is really going to be quick and a little interesting game. Due to limitations, there's only going to be 10 participants. So the first 10 will be admitted, and then we'll be playing. And if we still have time at the end of the session or before we end the session, then we can do another round. And whoever gonna be is the winner at the end of the game, will be giving out a little token of appreciation. So you guys can join. Nenie, can you start sharing your screen?
Yeah, I did share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Okay.
Yeah. You can scan the barcode, guys, and join. Okay.
Okay, this is gonna be exciting, and we'll be announcing the winner just before we end the session. So we'll wait for a couple more. Okay, let's see. I think everyone has joined already. Oh, wait, okay, not yet. Okay, I'm sure it's going to stop until 10, because there's only a limit of 10 participants, everyone. So we have 8, so we have 2 more, or if no one's going to be joining, then we can
start?
Yeah, we can start, Nenie. Go ahead. Good luck, guys. Two, one. Okay, you can choose from there. You have 22 seconds to choose the right answer.
They're all over the world, and maybe.
Okay, 5 got it right. Okay, so CJ is the first one. Okay, let's see. Okay, you guys can do it. Remember, there's gonna be a winner after. And there's a little prize waiting for you. Why is our climate becoming warmer? Okay, next, let's see who's leading. Oh, CJ still. This one is easy.
It is 80 degrees.
Wow, everybody got it right. Oh no, Marina is leading. Good one. Okay, this is double point.
Trees have
actually
the
haven't
ability to
seen this.
sequester or store this carbon dioxide. But how does that work exactly? Let's go to animation to explain. The way trees make food for themselves is through a process called photosynthesis. Trees use the power of the sun to combine carbon dioxide, or CO2, and water into cellulose, which makes up wood, branches, and roots. That means that carbon, in the form of cellulose, is locked away throughout the tree's lifetime and can't turn back into CO2 in our atmosphere. Just one mature tree can sequester as much as 40.
Okay, let's see again. Okay, let's see who's leading now. Okay, CJ is back on top. Really competitive. Okay.
As our climate continues to change, we're not only seeing hotter temperatures, but we're also seeing more severe storms.
Yeah, I totally agree, TJ. I actually haven't seen the questions myself, so this is surprising me.
As our climate continues to change, we're not only seeing hotter temperatures, but we're also seeing more severe storms. These storms bring with them bigger waves that are eroding.
7 answers. Okay, still CJ. Okay, we have 3 more questions to go. Guys, you can do it. This one is double points.
Storms bring with them bigger waves that are eroding our coastlines. And that's leaving many island nations very vulnerable. There's hope, though.
Let's see. Oh, still TJ. Good job. Go, guys. You still can do it. You can beat TJ. 2 more questions. Five, 4. Ta-da! Okay, everybody got it right. All right, 2 more.
I love the idea of planting more trees, but older, larger trees actually store a lot more carbon than young trees. So it's important that we not only plant new trees, but that we conserve and protect what we already have. Like these bald cypress.
Wow, let's see. Okay, everybody got it right. Wow, CJ, no one is beating you. Okay, the last question is double points again.
Of tree death. Because of climate change, scientists are documenting longer and harsher droughts, more severe outbreaks of insect and disease, and increasingly catastrophic wildfires. A recent
Yeah, I think
study
everyone has
looked at
answered.
natural.
Okay, let's see who's the winner. Wait. Oh my God. Okay, our winner is Marina. Wait, is that correct? Yeah, I'm seeing Marina, the first winner, and then the second one is NAFSA 3, and then the third is CJ. What happened? But congratulations to Marina. Nenie, to just let me take a screenshot just to make sure that we get to save that for later for our awarding. So thank you so much for participating in our little Kahoot games. I hope that you guys enjoyed it and you actually learned something from him. I actually didn't know the questions myself. So yeah, we didn't look into it just to, there's a little bit of an excitement. So okay. So now we're gonna be going to the presentation proper. I'll start to share my screen. Let me Congratulations again, everyone. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, just a second. Okay. Now I'll turn over this to Nenie to start our presentation. Nenie?
Thank you, and thank you everyone for participating. And I hope this wake you up, guys, and you did enjoy it. So most of you might be curious why we play games on Kahoot about this topic. Yes, because we're gonna talk about how campus now are trying to create sustainability initiative and participate on building community resilience. And one of the way that we do in our campus in collaboration with Green Office Toitū is reforestation. So a little bit background um, of our campus, most of our students are international students, which is undeniable for us that we are contributing to flight emission, right? So in dealing with, that slide. So in dealing with situation, the smallest action that we took was measuring our emission to get the understanding in which scope that spend the most significant emission. And for us, this is important starting point in which every step that we take is a step toward a greener, more resilient world. And the result is helpful for campus to initiate carbon offsetting project, which reforestation that we presented by Anne later on. Next slide. Yes, this one. So in doing the measurement, we did use the standard based on ISO 14064, in which we calculate scope 1, 2, and 3. As you can see here in the explanation, our scope 2 includes electricity, our scope 3 covers commuting activities and business travel. So based on the analysis, the diagram shows that our scope 3 emission on 2022 was really, really huge on scope 3. So next slide. Yeah, this one is the breakdown of our overall emission. As you can see here in the right bottom, our commuting activities contribute to 82% of the total emission, which is more than 120 tons of carbon dioxide. However, there is another important thing as well. As I mentioned before, international campus like us, it is undeniable that we are contribute to international flight emission. Next slide. So, even though this category is not included in our scope 1, 2, or 3, but we want to calculate it because we want to know what should we do as offsetting program in international flight? So this is the figure. The figure here is the total number of emission produced from our international student flight to Auckland to study in our campus, Otago Polytechnic. So previous slide. Yeah, this one. More than 3,000 tons of carbon dioxide, which shows significant number. Next slide. Yeah, it is shows here that 54% of our students are from India, which has contributed the highest carbon dioxide flight emission, followed by China. So knowing this huge number, it assures us to take action. And this one, the next slide. Yeah, this one is the action that we took in our campus. So at least we have 3 initiatives that we are currently doing. The first one, as you can see here, we are promoting energy conservation. We are already doing this one by encouraging our students to turn off the lights after using bathroom, toilet, and also conserve water. So why it is important? So conserving water saves energy. Energy is needed to filter, to heat, to pump water to your home, to our campus as well. So reducing water consumption also reduce your carbon footprint. And another way that we've done, the second one is promoting public transportation. On the research that I did last year, I did survey and found that 30% of our students, they are still using their private vehicle, car, to go to campus. One of interesting reason is because they used to drive their own vehicle back then in their home country before moving to New Zealand, in which the fact is almost all of our students coming from developing countries where public transportation is not commonly used there. For example, in Indonesia as well. So that encourage us to prepare for conducting carbon literacy program later on to teach about sustainability, which include promoting sustainable commuting. And the last one is reforestation project. We found this is a good way to offset our emission using very meaningful action. And this is one of the biggest initiative that we've done in collaboration with Otago Polytechnic and also Green Office Toitū. This is called Originated Reforestation Project which we will hear from Anne. Anne, the time is yours.
I
You're
was
still
on mute. Yeah, so thank you, Nenie. As Nenie mentioned earlier, this reforestation project is one of the biggest initiatives that we've actually started as student in collaboration with Green Office Toitū and with OPEC. So on the slide, you can see here the number of common, these are the common examples of number of native trees that you need to plant in order to help mitigate carbon emissions or help combat climate change. So you can see if you took a flight, an example is if you took a flight from Auckland to Wellington, that's an equivalent of 1 tree. And if you go a little bit farther, like Auckland to Sydney, then you have to plant 4 native trees. And then a little bit more farther from Auckland to London or Auckland to Europe, that's going to be around 34 trees. And if you are like in a household and you're using around 8,000 kilowatts of power, then you get to plant. That's an equivalent of 3 native trees. So you might actually ask why we are focusing on native trees. Why not just plant, the normal trees that could grow into the area? And we will answer that later towards the middle of this one of our presentation. So this, as our project progress, the objective of our reforestation project is actually to establish a self-sustaining, entirely native forest in the next 10 years, spanning 25 hectares, which designed to serve as a thriving habitat for native birds species while functioning as a long-term effective carbon sink. So it's a big area. So this is a 25-hectare a property located in Waikato, New Zealand. So this one is actually situated near the Coromandel Puketau ecological zone, moving to the Periri zone, which is actually a coastal area. And because of that, because that it's located near the coastal area, one of the biggest factor that us students or Nenie and I considered before we did participated and before we initiated to do this one is to the climate in the area. We consider the climate. The reason for that is because based on our calculations and research, the average temperature the area has on a yearly basis is around 14 degrees Celsius, and the average rain that Wahi would get is around 224 millimeter, as well as the max speed of wind in the area is at 16.2. And other than that, we considered also the humidity, which is at 81 percent. So, but we didn't only consider this factor, we also ensured that because as I've mentioned earlier, the trees are planted in a near coastal area. So we ensured that these trees can actually tolerate the salt spray. They can tolerate the wind, given that it's within the coastal area, and tolerate drought, and ensure that these trees could tolerate water logging. So with all of those considerations, the next slide will show you these are the trees that um, were chosen, and we've already planted some of these in the area as well. These were carefully chosen because of their characteristics as well as their growth rate. Characteristics in a way that we need to ensure that the trees that are planted there, shrubs as well, would attract birds, which is the biggest biodiversity here in New Zealand, birds. And then aside from that, the growth rate as well, because we wanted to plant more trees in the future. So we've chosen to plant trees and shrubs that would actually grow fast compared to the other ones, and consider the type and the position as well of where we are going to plant it, or where we planted it. The reason for that is because after the first 3 years, once these trees have already grown, they will become a canopy to the next batch of trees that we'll be planting in the area, which are also the native ones. So this one is going to be planted in years 3 to 10. So currently, we've already planted around 12,300 trees in the area. So the next batch will be in 3 years' time, and these are going to be trees that are the big ones, and some of them some of them will also grow fast. Some is just a little bit. And the same as the first batch of trees, we've also considered the characteristics of the trees, just to ensure that they will thrive and survive, and attract the same biodiversity and tolerate boggy soil in the area. So if we are able, our goal or plan is our plan is to plant around 2,500 native trees and shrubs, combination of both, for the next 10 years. So I know it's a lot of trees in every year planted. So if and when we are able to achieve this is the calculated impact that we're going to be getting. So currently, as I've mentioned, the area is a 25-hectare property. And currently, we've already had around 12,300 successful trees and shrubs in the area. And in the next 12 years, or after the planting period, if we are successful to plant these trees, we are counting to get a 37,300 trees and shrubs. Hopefully, we're positive about that. And in 50 years, if all of them grow into big trees and old trees, and we've calculated around 10,327 tons of carbon dioxide that we're going to be sequestering in all of these trees and trees in the area. So it's a big amount of number. And if you look at the what Nenie presented earlier, international students is accumulating around 3,200 tons of carbon dioxide as an international traveler. And is international traveler to New Zealand. So this would help. It's not really, well, there's gonna be more, hopefully, but at least we have this figured that we know we are looking forward to, that could help contribute mitigating climate change. And not just that, there's actually more reasons of why we plant trees, aside from we want to increase the biodiversity because it will restore our threatened ecosystem and also help the diversity in the coastal area and enhance the remnant vegetation, but also to help reduce erosion and improve the soil stability because the area is near, as I've mentioned, a coastal area. And of course, engagement with international students as part of our sustainability learning. So for us, it's very important that we just don't go to New Zealand to study, to Auckland to live and study, but also to ensure that we protect the environment that we currently lived in. And if and when we come back to our home countries, we can replicate the same effort or the same activity that we're doing in here. So for us, it's like a continued collective effort to do this thing in order to protect the environment that we live in. Here on this slide, these are some of the pictures that we've taken during our planting activity. So it's a little bit tricky to plant trees in here in New Zealand because you only have autumn and the beginning of winter to plant trees, and the rest you just do the seedling and that, and then wait for the planting event again the following year. So as international students, we've found it a little bit tricky for us to organize the event because not everybody is actually like very interested to wake up early in the morning and drive towards Wahi, which is around like 2 hours and almost 3 hours away from the city, back and forth, 3 hours just one way, and then you come up there and then you plan and then you come back again and travel. So it's a tiring activity. So it took us a little while to encourage students to participate and do the tree planting, but I think we've really had that opportunity that even if we're having the issues on how to get volunteers to do it, but as soon as they're able to participate, at the end of the day, um we always would ask, how was the experience? What happened? I mean, did you enjoy it? Are you willing to do it again or something like that? And they would always say that yes, they've enjoyed, they've learned something, and they now understand the importance of of planting trees, that it's not just, we're just not green tree hugging advocates, but because we're doing this in a way that it would give us a greater impact in the future, not just now, but especially in generations to come. So that's our little story of these initiatives that we are doing as international students. So now I'm gonna ask you guys as well to share your own initiatives, or if you have any initiatives that you've done in where you are located, and what challenges have you faced, or what you're facing, what worked or what did not, or what motivates you to do this related to climate change, because not everyone is motivated to do something unless you have something to get in return. So yeah, so you it's open, guys can share your thoughts, and you can also ask us questions if you have any questions. Oh, how do I view this?
Yes,
CJ.
CJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, thank you so much for
Hi.
sharing this. That was really great. And my sincerest apologies. My camera's just not working right now. It was working this morning, and I probably just need to reboot my computer, but I just
That's
wanted
okay.
to actually ask you a question, because you guys have done like a great initiative here. And I noticed just by the sort of folks in the room, there's quite a bit of practitioners here, sort of what I like to say, like the adults in the room. So I'm wondering, in terms of your work, like what sort of support was really helpful in getting these initiatives going? And like what sort of other support might you have liked to receive? Based on the work that you were doing.
Yeah. Well, the biggest support that we receive is actually from the school where we are going with Otago Polytech. So our school is really into sustainability, and through that the faculty and staff also encourage us to do initiatives like this. Because as for me, given me, well, I'll give myself as an example. When I moved here to New Zealand, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna study and not do anything and all that. But then at the beginning of when I'm starting at the beginning, there's already this little talk of, we wanted to help mitigate climate change. We practice this, we're doing that, but it's just that it's not that big. Not everyone is doing it. And then it get me to think that wait, I'm moving into this country. What am I bringing? And then when I realized that I'm bringing as much as carbon footprint just by moving in here, it made me think like, what could I do? Because I came from a country that is actually prone to flooding, and moving in here, I remember that it was like last January 2023 that we went through flooding as well. So what can I do? And through that, with the support of the school, Nenie and I were like looking into how we can achieve, or how we can lessen our carbon footprint. And from that, we've we've resulted into this. But I think more on the part, what else is needed, what help can we still get? Probably more of like spreading the word towards there, because this is not just limited to international students. It's also nice that we get participation from domestic students as well, from people from other schools and like that. Because we are, our generations is going to be there for a long time. You know what I mean. So we know that if we act now, we will be able to at least help in our little way. So yeah, spreading the word is important to us. And maybe that is also that is also one of the reasons why Nenie and I um were really into like joining this event, Climate Action Week, because through this we could spread the word that this is not just limited to New Zealand. This initiative is not just limited to New Zealand, but this could also be replicated to other countries, like to home countries of other students, to your countries as well, to everyone who joined us today. So I think that, yeah, spreading the word is really, really important for us. I hope I answered your question.
I'd just like to
Yeah,
add
that's awesome. Thank you.
I'd just like to add to, well, to answer CJ's question as a student myself, or a former student, but I think same as Anne, I also came from, and Nenie, from a developing country wherein these kinds of initiatives weren't, like, for example, in New Zealand, we have this recycling initiatives that are required for every household. In the Philippines, where I come from, it's not required. Like, everything is landfill basically, and it's up to each individual to practice, recycling habits. Like, you would have to really, for example, soft plastics, you would have to travel for a specific area, and the traffic in Manila is horrid. So, you would have to really be committed and take your plastics to a soft plastic recycling facility that are mostly private and not, done by the government. So when I came here to New Zealand, it's really more of like the support of, as Anne was saying, the support of the school, because I was also in that kind of mindset. I come here to study and, not really do much about like climate, although I was already practicing it in my own way, and influencing my personal my spheres of influence, like family, friends, inviting them to recycle or practice zero waste, or minimize the use of private transport. But when I came here, I was encouraged to really be active, not just within my close friends and family, but within like something like this, like a Climate Action Network. When I took up the course of sustainable organizations. So the thing with our school, I'm not from Otago Polytechnic, but I'm from another of the polytechnics here, and the course of sustainable organizations, it wasn't a required course. Like I took it because it happened to it was I was slightly interested, and it was a match for my schedule. But I think it would be good if these kinds of like, it was just a one term course that you take for 6 weeks, and it changed me dramatically in wanting to do more for New Zealand. So having those kinds of courses, as if it's possible to make it a required course, so that everyone would be aware of what's happening, of how, like for sustainable organizations, it's a course on how businesses can help. Because my I took up a master's digital business, so that's why it's a business course. But it helped kind of open my eyes that businesses have a lot of um, can do a lot for to combat climate change. And yeah, so I think having that kind of requirement for to finish your studies is a great way to be of support to students and climate action. Yeah, thanks for that question, CJ. Um, are there
Anything else?
anyone?
Anyone who wants to share or what initiatives they're currently doing, or if they know something that, an initiative that could also help climate change, you might want to share. This is a collaborative space, so there's no right or wrong answer.
I think I have a question for you, Anne and Nenie. Like you
Oh,
mentioned earlier, when you were encouraging students to, do that, make that 3 hour trip to Waihi to do some tree planting. What kind of encouragement did you guys do to get them to come, to get
we've
your fellow
actually
students to come?
Yeah, that's a difficult question. Well, not a difficult question to answer, but probably a difficult thing, to do because everyone is busy. We're international students. We do things left and right. We do jobs as well. So it was more of like contacting people that we know in school, sending emails, posting it on our weekly advisory, weekly newsletter, and then we also would sometimes bring it up to the class that we're going to be having this tree planting activity this Saturday. Who's interested? Or this Friday, who's interested, wants to come, like this and like that. So it's a little bit tricky, but we were able to like encourage a couple people to come in there. It's not so big, the first one and then the second one. It's not so big. The numbers were not so big. Probably we're only around 10, like that. But then the number of trees that we were able to plant every time that we go there, and then with the help as well of the community within Wahi. So that's why we were able to come up with that amount of trees that are currently planted in there. So as I've mentioned, it's a little tricky. That's why we really are into like spreading the word that, if other students, not just limited to international students, but also domestic students in New Zealand can do the same. I'm sure there are others out there that are doing it, but as I've mentioned, it's a continued collective effort. So it's not just for one student or a couple of students, but as many as you can, then and then that would result to as many trees as you can plant, or as many shrubs as well. So that would bring a big change or a big impact. So yeah.
Just added to Anne, I think why it is hard for us to encourage students is because, we are from developing country where like reforestation is kind of like nothing for them. Like, we don't even know about sustainability in, like, for example, in Indonesia. So it's kind of hard for them, like, what is sustainability? So that's why so we're gonna start to like having program to encourage like giving sustainability learning for them. So based on what I read before, starting from knowledge, it can, change like their mind to be more sustainable and know the importance of reforestation. So maybe next time we gonna do reforestation and they will more okay, trigger to, okay, I will join reforestation because it's important for me to offset my carbon footprint or whatever it is. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that's actually correct. That making people aware of what the important is of the thing that we are doing, regardless how big or small is that, it would make a difference. And I'd like to acknowledge what actually Marina posted on chat, that we are still working on making this a reality for our students and always looking for potential. Yes, that's actually correct. I know it. At first, it's really gonna be hard to let everyone join or to encourage everyone join, but don't stop. I'm sure that's gonna be something that you can do. This property that is like 25-hectare property, it's a big one, so it will take years. Or the estimated one is at 10 years for us to cover the entire area, and just to add the trees that we are planting there. They're not all from what we've done as like seedling and all that. Some of them are donations as well, because we are planting native trees, because we cannot just plant the normal or the usual trees that are not native to the area, because they're not literally gonna survive or thrive really to go big like in 50 years time. We're not sure of that, and we're not 100% sure that they're gonna survive if there's gonna be any cyclones, or can withstand the drought if there is, if that's gonna happen. So that's when we are spreading the word, we are also trying to let them know that, oh hey, we need this type of trees. So once you come to the reforestation, you can donate if you know somebody who has this tree at home that wants to put it out there. And sometimes we would ask not just students, but people we know, that, oh, you have this kind of tree, we need a couple of this, like that, this and like that. So it's tricky. It requires a lot of effort, and requires a lot of collaboration, to be honest. But as Nenie and I, we always would think that probably our main key takeaway into all of this, so what we're doing, is that no matter how big or small your effort is, at least you're doing something. It's not about how many you've planted, or it's not about how big the area you're covering, or it's not about how many lights you've turned off. But if you were doing it, if you are doing it constantly, and if you are going out there and doing this kind of little initiatives, then that would help a lot. And it's not only, as I've mentioned, it's not only for this generations, but for generations to come, like for our children, for our future of our children, if we have, and for the future of your grandchildren's or something like that. So yeah, it's a long-term effort. Okay. So do you have anyone to wanted to share more, or any questions for us? I think we're almost at 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. So we'll just announce the winner for the Kahoot game, just to let you know. Okay, so Nenie and I, we were actually really thinking of what to give the winner. I understand that we all live from different side of the planet. So we thought of something that we think would, you would really be helpful. And with that, this is the winner's prize, which will go to Marina. Oh, wait, let me my screen is not moving. Oh, okay. So, Marina, congratulations. You have just won a tree. Yes, a tree to be planted on the next planting activity that we will be doing. So, I hope that this tree that we'll be planting, we will name this for you and we will ensure to actually take a picture and send it to you once it's planted. We hope that through this, this is will serve as your little way of helping mitigate climate change. So congratulations again, and I hope that you like your prize.
Congratulations, Marina, and congratulations to everyone who joined the Kahoot and answered, shared their knowledge. Great questions. All right, so
Yeah.
if there are no other questions, this session will be recorded and will be uploaded to Canny's YouTube channel. For those of you who aren't yet following our socials, please do so. We provide updates whenever possible. And
And
mhm. Go
I'm
ahead,
sorry,
Anne.
just to close, just to thank everyone, would like to actually thank everyone who participated today. We understand that's a little bit, the time is a little bit, challenging for everyone. But on behalf of Green Office Toitū and Otago Polytechnic Auckland International Campus, Nenie and I would like to thank Kenny and of course the University of Tasmania for giving us the opportunity to actually share our work towards achieving SDG 13, which is for climate change. We hope that you've learned something today and that we have inspired you to do the same thing or to do something to help us combat climate change. So thank you for the opportunity, guys. Nini, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you, Kenny, and the other sponsor. Hopefully, we can meet again with Marina to send our picture for the.
Yeah, yeah, we will be getting your personal details so that we can send you a picture of the tree once we have planted it. All right.
All right. Thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
again
Again,
and bye everyone. Have a great day. Bye.
thanks,
Bye.
Anne and Annie.